says something that I thought was really great. It says, if you talk to other people, eventually, but if you talk to yourself, they'll want to listen more. So I think what I'm going to try and do is just talk a little bit about it. I agree with what Janine says. We're sort of in the, for me anyway, the piece could change at any time, pretty much. So there's a lot of elements that I'm still resolving. So I wanted to do a presentation that would be possibly quite logical and you could probably understand, and the element of it that would probably be nonsense. So this I thought was really fun. It was on the L9 building, and I just liked the idea and certificate of appropriateness. Next. Actually, there was another format that allowed us to go in. That might be. You can go down. Yes. So the thing about the tragedy of Mutu is there was a lot of junk, right? There's a lot of discarded elements, and I think the logical thing is, well, then this artist uses discarded materials, to say the moment. But in fact, when I went there, I realized I wasn't that interested in that stuff for some strange reason. I kept wanting to dig deeper and think about I was interested in the history, but not the immediate history of what happened. I was trying to think about how to go beyond that, because that was such a monumental event that I was thinking about how to use it, but then have something even universal in fact. So I said back to this area, which was a kind of bog in the lower 9th yard. Lower 9th, it's a kind of bog swamp, and it's very close to the site that I chose to work in. The other thing I want to show is the walkway to get to this bog. I was really impressed with. Somebody just laid down this roofing material, and I just, for about 10 or 15 minutes, I had to just stand there and watch it, because I didn't do it for somebody else. Somebody, this idea, this kind of urgency of combining one material after the other, and inventing is something that I'm in awe of, and this was something I had to keep as well. So the site I was interested in working with is actually the old church, this Baptist church that in the lower 9th, that I guess basically the congregation hasn't returned yet, and they needed to just clear it out and and so basically it's been ripped out just to get rid of the mold, and it's sort of in disrepair. So I was interested in doing something there. I've always wanted to do work in a church. Even one of my first pieces that I collaborated with Jenny and Dan wrote the essay for, it was in Harlem. It was a piece that I worked with 365 baby strollers that I picked up on the street. And I always wanted to show them in a church, and I could never get a church that I found a firehouse instead. But the idea that I could possibly work in a church was really important. I grew up as a Baptist, and church is a very special space for me, even though I probably go maybe twice a year. But there's something about the power of it. I live next to a church and I don't really need to go. I kind of hear it through the walls. But in fact, there's a sort of spiritual place, and I think if anything, if shit hit the fan, I would be running here in a minute. So it's a place it's a rock. So this is the space that I'm actually interested in. So I did the site visit. I said, damn, this is great. I love this space. I'm going to do something. And the question became, what? Okay, so what? And then it brought me back to my neighborhood in Harlem, and there's a place there that I'm really excited about. It's called the National Action Network. It's on 140th District in my neighborhood. But you'll see in this image, you see right at the top, there's this thing called Diamond Gym. So what happened was, the Action Network used to be a gym. It used to be a place to build line. And they're actually, you see the doorway, rather the window right there. I think it's a take a lot. Well, isn't that? We can go back. But the idea that there's this merging of sort of social justice and physical fitness is something that I've always been intrigued by. The possibility of doing something with that. And so I went into this space and got really interested in this. And the way that they still let the mirrors on the wall. And I was really fascinated that that's still there. There's really this element of it still being a gym. You can walk in there and you can see all the seats and accoutrements, but it still feels strangely like a gym. So what I decided I wanted to do was basically I was going to make a space within the church that would be its own self-supporting room that's going to be mirrored. And inside the middle of the mirror would be basically a diamond, a large diamond, probably about 12 feet in dimension. And the diamond would be made out of steel, and inside the diamond structure of the steel network would be exercise machines that I've been collecting for the last few months. And basically, we all have these exercise machines that become like one place to hang your laundry on, right? So I've been finding a lot of them. So it just be this dense form in the middle of this structure of mirrors. And then the idea is the mirrors will be embellished to basically be a drawing will be on the mirrors. And the drawing will be about energy in some way. So I had this really great idea that I wanted to incorporate this drawing in repetition and meditation in a weird way. And then I was like, what else do I want? And then I decided I wanted to have a sound. And the sound I chose to do was, it's going to be the sound of three really important African American leaders, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. And I'm working with an engineer to use some of their, one speech each of theirs, and basically kind of merge it into a kind of singular syncopation. And then the idea, so I had this in mind, and then I said, that might be good. I need a woman, or I need another force. So I ended up finding this great, I think it was Larry King. There was a great interview with Tina Turner. And Larry King was asking Tina Turner, you can do this and this. And he said, do you do the chant? And she went into this like 3 seconds, maybe about 15 seconds, 20 second chanting of some Buddhist chant. And it was phenomenal. And I was like, that's it, that's what I need. So the idea is to merge these great leaders in their speech to some to Tina's Buddhist chant, and that would be the kind of atmosphere of the space. So the idea is that the space is not about activism; it's really about this trying to introduce some kind of energy in the space of potentiality. So that was the interior component, the glass and the diamond. And the exterior part of this wall, so like I said, it's a sort of freestanding wall, would be a bulletin board. So it would be a community bulletin board that information could be, people could come in and actually read what's necessary, what's happening, what's relevant for the community. I really want, and that aspect of it is going to be developed as I'm there, because that's what I mean about being there and having the work involved. So that's kind of the starting point that I have in